Good evening to everyone, and I'm Samiksha Tanwar, and I'm a part of the Energy and Emotions team. Energy and Emotions is an institution, and the founder Louis Shaleen is, an author and an energy healer, and he has been in this field for a lot of years. So, in today's session, we are going to talk about modern parenting, and with us, we're going to have Miss Priyanka Rao today, and she is a professional in this field. And I'm just going to wait for her to join us. And then we're going to be asking her some questions about modern parenting, what it is, and why is it necessary, and how is it relevant in the present times, and how we can relate to it. So I'm going to Hi, Priyanka.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
So it's the first time that I am, hosting a live. So like a first for me. So if there are any mistakes, please,
No
excuse me.
problem at all. No.
Any we are here to talk about you, and you are the professional, and you're going to tell us about a few things related to modern parenting, which is our topic for today. So
Yeah.
starting with parenting, what exactly?
Actually, your voice is breaking.
Oh, okay.
I think it's fine now.
Okay, fine. All right.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about what modern parenting is and how is it different from, traditional parenting? Like just at a glance, if you have to say.
Okay. So if we talk about parenting, it's basically there are four types of parenting. I'll start with it only. So it's authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. So earlier, what I have observed and what people like researchers have observed is authoritarian parenting style was very much prevalent at that time, like my way or highway kind of parenting. So
Yeah,
parents were quite strict with their kids, and they were like, either listen to us or we don't know you.
yeah,
But yeah, so from that we also have been through that phase. Like we were in a constricted environment. Like let's talk about 90s or 80s. Those years of parenting were moreover authoritarian. If we don't talk about like very much late, I'm just talking about 10 or 20 years back.
hmm,
So when we see that, the parenting style was moreover authoritarian. So in authoritarian parenting, the parent is the boss, and you have to work as per their like criteria and norms and rules and everything.
yes. You just
So
have,
over time,
yes.
I missed it. What did you say?
I just said, yeah, you just have to keep following them, their footsteps, whatever they,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So if I said it, it's right, then it's right. If even if you are going to question me, I might say that no. This is I might not give you a reason as well for the no,
hmm,
right? So at that time there was like authoritarian parenting, but over time I have realized is that the parenting style has changed to authoritative. So in authoritative parenting, the parent is the boss. Ultimately, the parent is the boss. But what happens is the parent listens to the child equally. So if I am the parent, I'll give the child options now that these are the few options you can choose from them. So the child is I must say, allowed to give opinions as well. The child is free to share what they are feeling, and that's why they have a very mutual understanding. So there's an understanding between the parent and the child now.
Yeah.
So this is the major change that has came over years now.
Okay.
And other two styles are permissive and uninvolved. In the permissive part, the parents basically step into the child's life when it's very necessary, like when they get into a very serious problem or trouble. Until unless the child is okay with themselves, the parent is okay with themselves. And uninvolved is basically parents are like, don't bother
They.
to call us or
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And if we talk about Indian parenting, we are in a tie between authoritarian and authoritative even now.
I think now in present times, now the times are changing, and even the
Yeah,
parents that used to be stricter back in the days are now
a,
making
a bit lenient.
understand their kids because the times are changing.
Yeah. So it's
Uh,
like the parent want their child to listen, so they listen to them 10 or 20% now. So it's like a kind of balance.
so the way that our parents raise us is how their parents raise them. Somewhere
Yeah.
they have their own choices, but sometimes they are just following their footsteps only. And so how do you think that everyone can cope up with these present times? Everything is changing, and everybody has a voice now. There are
Yeah.
a lot few families and cultures and places left where children are very subordinate to their parents. It's becoming equal, and it's becoming very like voiced out. So what is the right way to deal with it or cope?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is, when parents come to me, when parents come to me of like parents of teenagers. So if they come to me and they say that my child is not listening to me at all.
Hmm.
So the first question is, are you listening to the child enough? Are you paying attention over the child, what the child want to say? So
Yes.
now it's kind of mutual. If you are not going to listen to the child and follow the old parenting practices, it might not work right now. See, we have to outgrow few things, and it's necessary for us to outgrow them. Old parenting techniques worked with you because the era was different. Now whole era has changed. See, decades have passed now. So over time, things have changed. You should change your parenting style as well. Why
Yeah.
are you like stuck on that one which you were like the style you were raised with? Every child is different. You were different. Maybe at that time, parents didn't pay much attention to that mental health and positive parenting, and you just like grew up.
Hmm.
Now, kids are very much like active on social media and they know about how things work. So you have to be in line with them. You have to align with their like idea of parenting. So I'm not saying that go with the flow with them. You have to take decisions. So just think about how it will affect you as a parent and the child.
I think you're absolutely right because parenting is not a thing that is, like a 1 year, 2 year, or a 3 year job.
Yeah,
Have to on with the times, and parents should
yeah.
also, make efforts in consuming these information, parental resources, books, or anything they can get on the internet. And
The most important thing is be open to change.
yes.
See, if you want to control your child or be a hovering helicopter over them that listen to me, it's not going to work. It
Hmm.
might not work with your child now because it might have worked in like 90s or 2000, even 2000. But now it's 2021 and it's not going to work if you are continuously poking the child that why aren't you doing this? तुम ये क्यों कर रहे हो? तुमने ये क्यों पहना? तुमने The child will distract from you. So they will like, okay, now leave me alone.
Hmm. और आज के टाइम पे जो सबसे बड़ा इशू होता है विच इज आप फोन में लगे रहते हो हर समय द किड्स आर ऑलवेज ऑन देयर फोन दे प्लेइंग गेम्स पबजी ऑल
Yeah.
काइंड वीडियोस एवरीथिंग So, how do you think that this digital era has an impact on, the parenting styles? And how can parents control, or maybe not control, or organize, put this in the right bucket for their children?
So, if we talk about digital parenting, see, this is a whole new thing now. We can see, in a positive way, I'm
Hmm.
saying that we can see an epidemic of mom bloggers now. So, if you scroll the explore page, you will find hundreds of mom bloggers, hundreds of. I'm in the field now. I see a lot of moms who are putting a lot of stuff on the internet. So if we see the digital parenting on the perspective with the perspective of a parent, you have a plethora of knowledge, whole lot of knowledge. You are just in a sea of it, like a whole sea of knowledge.
All
And
out.
there are like, yeah, it's all out there. And I must say uncontrolled. There's no control over it. You can
Yeah,
put anything over the internet. There's no boundary. There's no restriction that you cannot put it or you cannot just post it. So, see, being a child development professional, I have studied for it for years. I have been in the field now. I'm not saying that moms are not right. See, moms are always right about their child because they know their child best. But you know your child best, right? I am the generalizing part there. I know a lot of kids of that age group, and I can basically guide you through it. So I'm not biased towards your child or someone else's child. So what if you are giving some advice, be specific about it that it might not work for the other child. This is one thing I want to convey that please put content which is like very reliable for parents. In this era where a lot of stuff is there on the internet, m- most of it it's not verified. You will get a lot of information which might not work for you and might harm you, harm your child.
exactly. Because
Yeah,
the
so yeah,
background checks.
yeah, so parents are like, I'm feeding my child ragi ka something, okay, and as a mom, I watched it, so I like, okay, I can try this, and I'll try this, and it might go wrong with my child. So, who am I going to blame now?
Hmm.
I cannot blame the person, right? So the person should be give the proper disclaimer, I must say, that it works for my child, might not work for yours. So that the parent becomes a little conscious that हाँ हो सकता है मेरे बच्चे के लिए काम ना करे. I have to be a little conscious with it. So parents should not follow the trend blindly. Be conscious about what you are watching and is it reliable or not. And if it's reliable, then try maybe half of it first. Don't try it completely, even if it's a food choice or a parenting style. Because you know, parenting style is different for different kids. You things work for you might not work. So and even what works for me now might not work for me later. So my parents get authoritative with me right now, but later they need to get authoritarian as well if things go out of hand.
Yeah.
So
You need regular updates.
parents, yeah, you need to be, I must say, work on what works for you and your child, most important.
Right.
People will give you advice and a lot of unsolicited advice कि हाँ ये कर लो. Why are you using Pampers? Use cloth diapers. Why
Hmm.
are you using these sheets? Just use some reusable and all. What if it doesn't work for me? So yeah, digital parenting is one like whole putting a whole lot of pressure on the parent itself because you see a lot of people doing stuff and you try to do some of it. You might fail at it, then you start blaming yourself that, oh, I'm a bad mom, I cannot do this. Why I'm doing this to my child? No, do what works best for you. Don't fall in the trap of digital parenting, please. And the other thing like you said, how to control the digital part in kids. So that's a whole different thing. as I told you, do what works on your child. Don't fall in the trap of what other parents are suggesting. Try different things. If like few people said we have a timeout and we don't give phones to our kids, but what if you have different timings with your child? What if my child sleeps at 8? So they need to have a screen time of few hours, like 2 hours a day. So if I know the routine of my child, I have to decide when to give and when to not give. So things work like that.
Right. So that brings me to, the subject of discipline. So as we
Yeah.
discussed, that, we are in this time where kids do not want to be, I mean, authoritarian behavior is not working out anymore
Yeah.
with, the new generation, to so to speak. So, uh, discipline, in fact, used to be something that was appreciated in, the old times, the earlier times.
Yeah.
Some very questionable. And, the kids are also easily offended if, you bother them with something, matlab whatever, if you try to discipline them. So, how do you think we can cope up with that thing?
Okay. See, earlier what discipline meant to be that the child is not speaking against you, the child is not doing what you said you don't have to do, and the child not questioning you. The main thing was the child is not questioning you. आपका बच्चा बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि वो आपको question नहीं कर रहा है. But
Hmm.
what's wrong in that? Now I feel what's wrong in that if a child asks you something. I'm just asking my parent why I can't do this. For example, my parent said that you cannot watch TV right now. So I can ask him, just tell me a reason. Earlier, what happened was if the parent said, तुम अभी TV नहीं देखोगे. So if I watch him, why I can't watch it. So they'll be like, अच्छा, उल्टा
Hmm.
बोलते हैं. So that was the main thing, right? Now, yeah. Now, if like parents said कि you cannot watch TV right now, the child will be like, why? So just give them an answer that we have to do our homework now. So after some time, at around 6 in the evening or 7 in the evening, you can watch it. Right? It's simple as that. So
Exactly.
from the strict disciplinarian thing to positive disciplining, we have came across a whole like long way from there to here in a very long time, I would say. It took a decade or two to come to this because a lot of parents even now don't like when their kids question to them.
Right.
Even simple questions, why I can't do this? They are like, बच्चे को तो question करना नहीं होना चाहिए. Why?
Are also
Just answer them.
like that by their parents. So this is what they pass on, and they
Yeah,
that they need to unlearn this in order to make their kids' lives better, in the future.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I said we have to leave our old parenting in the box now. Please try to learn it. I'm not blaming the parents right now. I'm just saying you have to learn new things. You have to grow with time. If you want to like be a friend or a good parent to your child, you have to grow with time. If you will like keep pushing them, keep pulling them back with you, they might become even a, I must say, more strict parent to their child in future. And we are just creating a mess in the lives of future kids now. So be a little lenient and flexible with your kids.
Yeah. So, as you said that, moving away from the disciplinarian wala that stand parents have
Hmm.
taken, becoming better friends for their with their kids and
Yeah.
everything. So, talking about peer pressure and also where do you draw the line? Like, वो हम friendship है, parents are becoming friends with their kids. But I'm sorry. So, where do they draw in that, and how do they deal with parent pressure and this whole massive situation that always comes in the picture, which is peer pressure?
Yeah. See, peer pressure is for both, I must say, for parent and for the child. And for parents, it's like in a massive form because they are like old people and they have relatives around them, who are constantly friends around them, who are constantly pushing them to certain rules, follow some certain guidelines. And so parents are equally stressed out when it comes to parenting. So, for example, I have a 4-year-old child, okay, and one of my friend also have like a 6-year-old child. So she did things 2 years back, which I need to do right. So she'll keep bombarding me with the things she did with her kid. I might not be comfortable with that, but being polite, I will not tell her that I don't want to do it. So the peer pressure is there. Feel like my child. Also, if we see two or three moms together, they 90% of the chances they'll be talking about their child. 90%. So that's where the peer pressure comes in.
Right.
So yeah, they are like okay, and the child, let's say the child is 3 or 4, all of them are 3 or 4. So they'll be like, my child has started changing their clothes by themselves, and they have started eating by with the hand and all. So the comparison and the competition comes in there, not in like not intentionally, but it came, right? So if my child is not eating with her hand or his hand, I'll be like, oh my God, what's wrong with me as a mom?
And ex-
Yeah, the peer pressure came in there, right? So I'll push my child कि ऐसे करो, ये करो, हाथ से खाओ, ये हाथ से खाओ. So, the pressure is equally on the parent and the child. Now the child is also included in that.
Hmm.
So, and अब बच्चों के peer pressure तो अलग ही होते हैं. So they're like, it starts later actually. बच्चों में peer pressure आना, when they understand things, when they understand their social environment.
Yeah.
Until तब तक तो they are with siblings and parents, इतना peer pressure नहीं होता है. It start coming when they start joining schools and all. So then they are like, oh, मुझे भी ये करना है. Then it comes there. Okay, so if we talk about uh, peer pressure on parents, it's more. And parents should take a little, like, take it a little easy. Don't push your child too much. Don't take too much from the outside. I'll again tell it, don't understand, like, take too much which you can't handle or can't digest, or your child cannot take it. So do what works best for you and your child.
Right. So, to not impose their dreams, hopes, and all their expectations on the child, and support them, and, educate them about their beliefs, values, and good
Yeah,
manners, all the things which are more important than,
yeah,
showing off to other people and all those.
yeah.
There is nothing better than, a good future for your kid and just seeing them happy and healthy. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, and from that, I would, come to my last question to you, which is, how do you build a deeper connection with your child?
Okay. See, the most important thing is to give time to your child. See,
Right.
when they are young, you have a lot of time. If you are not having a lot of time, just try to squeeze 30 minutes or 20 minutes out of your schedule and give that time only to your child. Don't keep a phone to yourself or a newspaper or a book, nothing. Just spend those 20 minutes with your child. There will be more than enough if you are there with them. So
Right.
it starts from the early years only. If your child is 1 and 1.5, play with them for 20 minutes. They will be very happy. They will look to that time for the next day as well. They'll be like, at this time, my dad is going to come to me and he'll play with me. So these things are the things which build a connection with your child. They let you like get involved in the life of your child. So involvement is very important. If you are not involved in the life of your child, they will not tell you things, you will not get to know things about them. The sharing part will not be there, right? So, and also don't keep it to the early years only. Just keep that routine for the later years as well. try to find those 20 minutes when your child is 15 as well.
Right.
Spend with them, sit with them, so that they feel connected with you, right? And the other thing is the most important tip of parenting, I must say. The child should not know the gap between you and your partner as parents. So
Right.
if the child finds the communication gap between two parents, they will squeeze the heck advantage out of it. So they'll be like, okay, if mom denies it, dad will agree over it.
Right.
So yeah, they'll keep running to dad that I want this. The dad will say, okay, yes, do it. Then
Yeah.
the value of mom's decision was finished. So the child will think that dad is like more profitable as
Mm-hmm.
for now than mom.
These are the
Yeah. Yeah. So the co-parenting is the most important tool for the like whole life till your child is with you.
right.
Stick to one decision. Stick to one decision. Even if you don't like it, just stick to it because the other parent said it.
Okay.
Decide mutually what works best. Give some leniency, but be like firm and a bit lenient with your child.
Okay. I just think, parenting is such an important part of our lives, and childhood is one of the things that has an impact on you for the rest of your life. And still
Yeah.
finding that, none of the parents or anybody is, making an effort to educate themselves about this topic. Everyone is just trying a hit and yeah, like a trial method कि
So
हमने
yeah,
क्या करा था तो हम भी अपने
it
बच्चों को
see, it is actually a hit and trial method. There's no perfect book to parenting, no perfect, like, there's no perfect course on parenting.
hmm,
I'll tell you things as a counselor, I'll tell you few things. I'll not give you a particular single solution to a problem. I'll give you a range of solutions. You have to try what works best for you. See,
okay.
so yeah, that's how it works. For every situation, you will get a different response from the child, and the child might give different response in different times. So try to find out what works best for you. That's parenting. It's actually a very hard job to do, and I must say every parent is a pro at it. They
Right,
they learn with time. Yeah.
absolutely right. And I think all the things that you told me, you worded them, appropriately. And in fact, I really learned a lot and I enjoyed it. Although it was my first time, but I did not feel, any whatever like between us. So it was really great talking to you, and I'm really looking.
Thank you so much. Actually, pleasure all mine. You hosted it really, really well.
Oh,
I,
thank
I
you.
didn't feel that, yeah, it felt like a normal conversation we are having. I didn't
Exactly.
feel the pressure.
Right. Oh, as soon as like you started talking, the pressure was lifted off of. So that was really
Thank you so much.
okay. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you for connecting. Bye. Take care.